It's my first time using this little ass mic outside in live traffic. Hands are cold as hell. What is up, y'all? It is Paris Tempted, Paris TTMPPED, TTMPPED. And today I'm going to be talking about how I navigate living in a conservative, transphobic, everything phobic household, how I kind of get through it. I'm learning how to navigate through it literally live until I upgrade to my next life. As you can see, I got my handy dandy notebook. Moving into where I am now, I was not aware of their conservative beliefs and a lot of their viewpoints on certain things and certain kind of people. And as soon as I heard how they thought and what they thought about certain things, I immediately told myself, shut the hell up and don't tell your business, which is why I started, doing a lot of my videos outside. I have kind of grown to like doing it outside. One of the comments told me it's kind of my thing, and I didn't realize it has become one of my things. I've kind of fallen in love with just being outside and allowing my thoughts to just roam freely. So I'm grateful for having to kind of create that space, but at that same time, it just sucks that it all stems from my lack of being comfortable. Growing up, my parents were kind of conservative. My dad and my mom and dad can see that I was kind of drifting in my own directions in terms of just, you know, how I dressed, who I hanged with, my interests in shows and stuff. My dad kind of let it be, but my mom and my aunts and stuff were trying hard to kind of maintain my femininity as much as they could. So I was taught young that, I have to obey people's viewpoints and allow the stronger dominant energy to win. And this goes into even conservative minds in terms of politics. It's hard for me to connect with people who voted for Trump because their mindsets and in terms of morals are dead. I understand their views on the economy and stuff, but then in terms of just basic morals and principles and human rights, it's just not. It's looked over, and the way what he's doing to people who are minorities and LGBT plus, and his mindset and what they deserve is it's crazy to me. What I'm going through right now is teaching me how to normalize people's political views. I did grow up thinking that anybody that was a Trump supporter completely hated black people, and but it's one of those things where I'm learning to allow people to think what they want and not judge, because I feel like I become judgmental when I hear someone's viewpoint. It doesn't even allow me to see them as human, which can stop me from certain opportunities and getting to certain levels in my life. And I'm learning that slowly but surely. Like, I'm learning I have to let people be who they are so I can be who I am, and understand that it just means that I'm not meant to talk politics, and it just means that I'm meant to stay in my own lane and let them go in their lane wherever they need to be, unless I'm needed for information. I'm learning when you are in a space where you can't be yourself, just don't make who you are a big deal. I feel like it wasn't really until I came out as trans to conservative people that, they started to place certain opinions on me, because I'm learning, if it's not your business, I'm not going to talk about it. And it's way easier said than done. I used to think that I owe people an explanation of my sexuality and my gender expression, and it's not real. It's just a matter of, that's just how you think it is, but it's not real. People don't notice you until you give them something to notice. And I'm learning, if I don't see them in my future, I won't give them too much of who I am. I give them just enough for me to coexist, because it is, a sharing world. But I'm learning that, if they do not respect who I am, through other people's eyes, then I can't be in their future. It's complicated, but it's important. I'm learning to just mind my business and allow people to literally be who they are. And I'm able to kind of see the better side of them and learn where I want to be in the future, which is not in proximity. I had to learn that silence was my best friend. I have to learn that I have to shut up sometimes, because then I become argumentative and I become the problem. A lot of times you can't change someone. It takes their own willingness. Even if it's family, like, you have to learn that maybe that's not a space for you, and plan on getting your ass out. Because I've tried to crack the eggs of those hard-boiled people who just cannot see past their own reflection, and I still find myself being the one that's trying to get the last voice out, and they're still as conservative as they were when we started the conversation. Speaking up is, even though kind of contradicting saying silent, it's important. a lot of times I hear certain opinions and I have to speak up because these are my people we're talking about. This is me you're talking about. My respect, my freedom. And I feel like a lot of times, people are thinking that it's okay to just willingly say how they feel, which can be disrespectful. And I'm learning, speaking up is important and it's okay. Don't allow fear to get in your mind. I've spoken up a lot of times when it was hard and I was the only person in the room vouching for myself. But like I said, your voice is meant to be heard and it's important if you're in a safe environment, of course, to do so. But when it comes to speaking up, learn not to take it personal. Sometimes they may strike a nerve and it may just be due to the lack of understanding, and then you'll be the one exerting a lot of energy out when it really was just like I said earlier, a lack of understanding on their part and a lack of knowledge on our community. Don't focus on conservative minds. I've realized that they're just in their own reality of earth. I learned young, due to like I said, my parents, they weren't mean. They weren't always mean. My dad was mean at all. It's just, they had viewpoints that went against me. And whenever I tried to be myself, they were trying to put me in this box that I didn't want to accept. And I had to learn that it's not real. Like, we can't give into perception in those conservative mindsets. When you go in your room, express yourself. That was, my room was my safe haven. And if you're in a room with someone that's conservative, try to plan your way out, because it's not good to have to hide yourself, or it will grow into another emotion, which can be shame, anger. And when you're finally in a space where you can't be yourself, you'll find yourself running. I don't know. It's a weird cycle that I'm learning to get myself out of. If you like this video, comment down below. Wear some gloves next time, because wow, my hands are freaking cold. Look at this water in the background. Oh man, I have a lot of good content coming for you guys. I'm excited. I'm excited to use this mic because I feel like my audio is going to be 10 times better. Hopefully, if hopefully it still works. I got it last year. It was gifted to me, and I have yet to use it. But I will see y'all soon. One time I had worked in this summer camp, and this one kid, they had like long hair, and I don't know, like I didn't know their name because I was new working there, so I was referring to him as she the entire week. And one day he heard me and was like, "I'm a boy," and I was like, "Oh shit." And it was that simple. I'm like, okay, my bad. And it was, I'm learning that we sometimes can get in our heads about certain things and conservative views, not realizing that it may just be lack of understanding and information. Unfortunately, not all of us, I grew up dosed with information on the LGBT plus community because I was already curious about myself. And a lot of us, if you haven't watched my video recently, I did a video with Yoku EX, and we talked about, she mentioned how growing up she didn't have any information on the trans community. She didn't know anything about us. We didn't exist. So you got to realize that, not everybody has our information, and some people grow up in a conservative mindset, and we have to understand that and not allow it to cripple our minds.